battle of wits has begun.
Welcome back, fellow YouTubers, to this episode of the Red Cup Review. Today we are looking at the Princess Bride Dreaded Pirate Roberts Westley figure from QMX. This episode is brought to you by our buddies over at CollectorZown, or the CollectorZown Cantina on Facebook. And we are going to be looking at Westley here with all of his swords and scabbards. He's got his unmasked head sculpt. He comes with 7 gloved hands, 2 ungloved hands, and that wine goblet that he poisons the... Spoiler alert, he poisons the bad guy with in that hilarious scene. Let's take a closer look at the figure.
Inconceivable!
You get yourself a 6 scale figure. What is it you're interested for the most? And that's the head sculpt. So that's why we pay the big bucks for these things. And this head sculpt is not perfect, but it's really, really awesome. Especially for a company like QMX that's not quite at Hot Toys level. They even have his dimple on the side of his cheek there. Wonderful work. The ears actually look better in person. I don't know if you guys are getting, the paintwork is very nice throughout. It's not flat. It's not sweaty. It's just works just right. The only problem I have right here is that I wish that the face paint and the neck paint matched more. So the body kind of doesn't really match the face all that well. But you could kind of hide that a little bit if you put him in like an action pose, or you kind of tilt the head down a little bit. Where this head sculpt really shines is in the eyes. The eye work on this, the eye paint is some of the best I've ever seen, though. It has that real glossy look, that wet look that most eyeballs in real life tend to have. And as you can see, he has the plastic on his face as well. The plastic domino mask, that is, with the cloth, just like you're seeing over here on the right. So that's movie accurate. The paintwork on the mustache is pretty good, and the lip paint is actually almost borderline superb because it doesn't bleed, and it has that nice natural flesh skin tone to it. Right on the back here, you got the bandana, and I'm not going to pull this bandana out and keep it just the way it is, but the cloth feels nice and very well done. The stitching is well done. It's not coming apart. I mean, what else more could you ask for? Now, as you can see, there's the seam line and the neck piece here, which I'm okay with, because if they would have went with a whole neck attachment piece, it was a smart move, because then the body itself would have had the neck adapted here, and you would have had the line across the neck, and you could kind of hide the neckline like that. See, now you're not going to see the seam in the neck when you pose it like that, as opposed to having it right along the chest area there. For those of you that aren't familiar, at the bottom of the neck, how does it attach? There's the hole in there, but here's the neck adapter. So you put the neck adapter in there, and then you pop that onto the ball joint that's on the figure. Moving along, we have the Westley head sculpt, and to me, this is the lesser of the two. The paintwork on the hair is okay, not great. They could have went with a little bit more black wash in there to bring out the details, because the details are there when you're looking at it in person. Ponytail fits nicely. Obviously, the seam on the neck ain't going to be hidden as well here, but I'm going with the Pirate Roberts from my collection. The paintwork on the eyes is once again superb on these heads. That's where the head sculpt really shines here. I like the paintwork on the lips as well on this head sculpt. And it's a little bit of an imperfection under the nose. You see where the nose is right there? Look at that nostril compared to that nostril. Now, that's okay with me. Why is that okay? Because I'm never going to pose the figure or look at him like that, right? That's not something I'm going to be doing. If I'm going to be doing anything, it's going to be something like this, or something like maybe like that from that angle, so you really only see that side. Or maybe I'll just do it from like that angle or something like that. But I'm going to be going with the other head sculpt for sure. And the paintwork on the face is very well done. It matches the hands. There's lots of different color beiges in there and a little bit of pinks. He looks a little bit of flustered in the face, because obviously the scene in the movie where he does take his mask off, he had just finished fighting for the love of Princess Buttercup, so he should be a little flustered. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool move. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but it worked out all the same. Now we got Westley in this crazy little bit of a weird pose right here, just to show you guys how high kind of the arms go up. They could probably go up even higher than that, and you're only going to get about a 90-degree bend in the elbow here. There is no double jointed on the elbows. Oh well, minus points for that. The outfit itself, though, is kind of blousy. It billows out, but that's all right, because you're not going to have to worry about it deteriorating, falling apart on you, coming unstitched. Just, be careful with these things. They're expensive toys, The rope here, the tie piece is done very nice. You can make it nice and tight if you want, or you could even loosen it up and kind of show a little bit more of that burly chest there underneath. So it's nice. It feels quality. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear or rip or deteriorate over time, which is very well done. Let's take a look at the outfit up close. Give you a closer look at what it looks like. Right, there's the belt. The belt buckle is once again not die cast, although I'm glad because it looks good enough. If the paintwork is going to work, then you're fine. This isn't going to be able to come undone, and a lot of times when they tie belts like these on 6-scale figures, you got to worry about it kind of just slipping up there. It's not. Just pull it down a little bit. It'll stay tied. This moves back and forth around his waist, right? His scabbard, which has got a nice texture to it. It's not just flat black. Very good choices here. I like it. I like it. That's tied up around the waist. I believe it's stitched in there as well, so be careful there. As far as the figure, is he doing splits? His legs aren't going to go out any more than that, but that's fine because then you can put him in his swashbuckling stances. Let's take a look at the boots. The boots have a nice amount of detail on them as well. I mean, they could have went totally flat here, guys. They could have went with flat rubber boots. They're not going to get... You got no movement, though, on the ankle here, which is kind of beat. So when you do put them in those swashbuckling poses, you're not going to get any... You're going to have to be creative. You have to bend him at the knee a little bit and kind of get his foot to do something like that instead. All right, the knees are double jointed, though. They go back 90 degrees, probably even more if you wanted to stretch it. There's a little bit of... there's a rotation up there in that joint. And how high is the leg going up? The leg actually goes up pretty damn high. Actually, you can have them cut straight out. All right. Is the body going to hold up over time? Well, the legs are really sturdy. The legs are actually very, very sturdy. However, the top half of the body, the arms are pretty sturdy. It's not loose in there either. So the arms are good. The legs are good. Here's where you get a little bit of a knit. It's in the torso. Now, the torso movement, you do get bends at the waist, right? And you get articulation up here too. So he goes all the way forward and he goes all the way back, which is cool. So if you guys don't overdo it, you can get some dynamite poses. However, check this out. See how it's kind of rocking a little? It's not on a ratchet joint, so don't overdo it. This is something where if you do pose them a lot, you may have to put another underlying body after a while underneath. I'm not sure how long the body's going to hold up for, but if you just keep them, put them in a pose you like, repose them, maybe I would say, how often do you pose your figures? I repose mine every 2 to 3 months, and he should be fine, and he should hold up well over that. All right, everybody. Sorry for the redundancy, but I want to address the die-cast stuff again because I know that this is, people want more realistic type stuff. If this was a die-cast sword like they do on the Asmus 6-scale Lord of the Rings figures, the sword would do this. It would tilt forward because all the weight is in the handle. That's where the beefiest part is, right? So it would do this, and it would slide right out, or it would sit horizontally. This sits vertically and actually kind of weighs down perfectly. Slides in and out like that, and it's all in the paintwork, guys. You get the paint to work, and it'll work out great for you, right? Slips out there. This thing you have to actually slide into the buckle itself. See how it can come out there? That's fine. It'll just, look, I'm pulling on it. It's not going to slide out. While Westley doesn't come packing, he's got it where it counts, if you know what I mean. We're going to take a look at his sword here, and the sword's not die cast, but they did a really nice job with the paint and making it look die cast. Even though you saw how it bent there a little bit, it's not flimsy. So when you shake it like this, not that you're going to be shaking the sword, it's not going to flop on you. Now, a lot of companies think that they're doing the right thing by the customers by giving them die cast, real die cast weapons. However, die cast weapons tend to be really heavy. So when you put them in the hands of your action figures and you pose them, let's say the sword raised up high, over time, I believe the heaviness of the die-cast weapons are going to weigh the figure down and stuff, but you ain't going to have to worry about that here. Then we're going to take a look at his cup. The cup is probably my favorite of the accessories because it's got a really, the paint detail on the cup is quite excellent. It's got a real rustic and kind of rusted up look, and it's just, it's very well done. They did a really good job on the paint. They can make it look die-cast without it being die-cast. And as you can see, you saw that right there? The little red hue in there, there's the wine, and it's nice. Little man actually pointed that out. He was like, hey, look, there's actually wine in there. It's not going to spill out, though. So good job on that accessory. We're going to take a look at one of the ungloved hands to show you guys the paint job that they did on the hand itself, and it matches the paint job of the face, and that was very well done. When you're putting the sword and stuff inside the hands, they're a little stiff. They're not as rubbery as some of the other releases, so you got to be a little careful. You don't want to snap that. All right, and then his gloved hands, which actually have a nice amount of detail on them as well, especially this one, which I was quite happy with because sometimes when they have these companies, when you get flat black type hands, especially ones that are in gloves, they tend to look flat. But these don't. They look the same. They're not. There's a subtle difference. I wish they would have gave us a different hand as opposed to the same, almost the same. One's a little bit more expressive than the other. I always go with the more expressive hands myself. That's it for the accessories. In conclusion, I just want to say thanks to everybody out there that has already subscribed and been sticking with us this whole time. And if you enjoyed this video, please come and join the family as well. All right. Bottom line, this figure's getting 3.75 cups out of a possible 5. Now, why is that? It's because QMS just isn't quite living up to the super high quality standards of Hot Toys, and this figure does fall in the $200 range that we've come to expect. However, if you're a fan of the movie and you love the dreaded Private Roberts as much as I do, he is an absolute must-have, and he looks great on the shelf. Especially coming soon, they're going to be having that Inigo Montoya figure. They better put that up for pre-order soon, because I can't wait to get my hands on that. And if that sells good, and this one sells good, this is coming from QMX directly at Toy Fair. Princess Buttercup will be the next one in the line. We also want to thank the Collector Zone and Collector Zone Cantina on Facebook, guys. Just go and join up with them. They're a great community. It's wonderful. All right, fellas, thanks for joining us. We love you. Hope to catch you on the next episode. Please like, subscribe, share, drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this figure. Let us know if you love the Princess Bride, and let us know what you think. All right, fellas, we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining us.